Ready, start. A 1-2 punch delivered by an unforeseen sharp dip in inflation and an extremely slim base of taxpayers with expected to leave the country's top tax agency with a big hole in its overly ambitious revenue target of around rupees 31 trillion. Since the announcement of the present budget, it was obvious to most that the FBR would miss the target that demanded revenues to grow by nearly 40% over last year's collection, as the authorities had skirted structural reforms needed to broaden the tax net and make the taxation system equitable and just. Much of the burden of the additional revenues was shifted onto existing taxpayers, including salaried classes. The rest was expected to come autonomously from economic expansion and higher inflation. With inflation now below 3%, the tax authorities expect a revenue shortfall of at least rupees 0.5 trillion. Many fears that the hole could widen to almost rupees 1 trillion, as the FBR is already struggling with a gap of rupees $468 billion in its target for the July to January period. According to a report in this paper, the tax authorities argue that this gap cannot be covered without increasing the tax rates for existing taxpayers or imposing new taxes due to the narrow base. This proposal has already been rejected by the Prime Minister on account of its negative political consequences. The revenue shortfall, on the other hand, will not go down well with the IMF, which was reported to have refused an earlier request from Islamabad to slash the tax target in view of rapid deflation. However, the tax authorities are confident that the IMF will look the collection gap if they achieve the tax of GDP ratio to 10.6% for the current year, since the lender is aware of the economic factors responsible for it. How the IMF is going to respond will not be clear until the second biannual performance review of the program in summer. Yet we will get some early hints from the fund during the first review next month. The difficulty facing the FBR in meeting its target underscore how crucial it is to execute tax reforms broaden.